Hey, what's up guys? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at some of the best Nintendo Switch Pro controllers out there. A lot of you guys asked me about what Pro controllers I use for my action games and RPGs on the Nintendo Switch, so I wanted to get a video out talking about it. So the first one that we're going to discuss is the Fusion PowerA Pro controller. This is a fantastic Pro controller for the Nintendo Switch. It's got some really comfortable rubber grips as well for holding on and making sure that the controller does not slip out of your hand as you're battling people in Bayonetta or playing some of the most intense boss fights out there in your action RPGs or your RPGs on the Nintendo Switch. I quite like the rubberized grip and feeling of the controller. It's also got swappable thumbsticks as well, so if you're into competitive shooters on the Nintendo Switch or those really difficult ones like Doom on the hardest difficulty or Wolfenstein, you can actually switch them out and it comes with different heights. So it's a pretty cool controller for custom creations and also just in general. It's got 20 hours of battery life, which is also pretty good as well. It's also got a nice 3.5mm headphone jack, so if you want to use comms for certain games like Fortnite, for example, you can definitely do so. It's also got motion controls in there, but it does not have rumble, which is very unfortunate and probably the only thing that I dislike about the controller. Outside of that, everything is good. It's got a faceplate that you can take off. It actually comes with a white faceplate as well, so you can swap them back and forth or just use whatever one that you want. It's got super comfortable top shoulder buttons. They're not the pressure sensitive ones though, they are just the regular ones, but they still work really well for most of the games. The thumbsticks feel great. It's got like a real kind of grating texture on there, so your fingers won't really slip when you're playing the games. And the battery pack and everything is really cool. Programmable as well, so you can kind of program and set up, what type of buttons you want there. So I think that it's a great controller. It works extremely well. It's got all of the buttons that you would expect when it comes to the capture and everything. Everything feels just right. And once again, battery life is solid on this one, 20 hours or so with it. So you really can't go wrong with the Fusion A Pro controller. I think that it's very good and I highly recommend it. Now let's talk about price, because I think price is an important factor, of course, for everyone. And this one is a little bit more on the pricey side. It is $99.99. However, it does come with a really sleek case, like a really nice case. Like, this is one of the nicest cases that I've ever seen. And once again, it comes with multiple different thumbsticks with different heights and also a nice USB-C braided cord as well. It's actually pretty incredible, all the nice little things that they throw in there. And I would say that it probably equals out to about $100 or maybe even more, depending on what you value when it comes to your Pro controller. So I do recommend the Fusion PowerA Pro controller on the Nintendo Switch. I think it's a fantastic controller to use, especially if you're looking for something that has a little bit of custom navigation to it with the faceplates and the thumbsticks as well. It's a nice touch and a nice feature for not too bad of a price. Now, the next controller that we're going to be talking about here is probably my favorite on the Nintendo Switch, and that is the 8BitO Ultimate Pro controller. This is one of the best controllers that I've ever used in my life, and there is a number of reasons why. One, it's extremely comfortable to the touch and to the feel. Now, it doesn't have the rubberized grips on the back like the Fusion A Pro controller. However, it does still feel really good to hold, especially if you have big hands like myself. I do feel that maybe the Fusion A feels a bit more comfortable at times, especially in long play sessions, but this still feels good as well. Also, one more thing to note too, for some people, and this is maybe a little bit of a negative, but it can also be a positive, is that it's got these buttons that are right here, and you might accidentally press them. However, it's only programmable, but some people might like the feel of having buttons right there. Other people might not like that feel. I didn't like it at first, but I got completely used to it. I don't program or set up any special things on my controllers, so I don't accidentally press the button or anything, but just keep that in mind. It does have two kind of clickable buttons right here in the back, but if you're someone who's playing like a first-person shooter or something to where you need that super quick reflex and you can really just lay off of it and press it when you need to, you might have a nice advantage with this Pro controller. Now, everything else when it comes to this is absolutely incredible. I absolutely love the thumbsticks on here. They feel great. It's also got anti-drift technology, same as the Fusion A controller. These controllers probably won't have drifting on you, but the D-pads as well just feel absolutely fantastic. And the D-pad on this controller feels a bit better than the D-pad on the Fusion A Pro controller. So I do love the D-pad on this controller. The face buttons are fantastic as well. They feel great to press and play, and I actually like the layout of the buttons of the capture and also of the home button. I like it a little bit more than the Fusion A controller. Now, the top ones are pressure sensitive when it comes to the triggers. They do have that, plus the regular bumper buttons as well. Plus, it just looks nicer when it comes to some of the stuff with showing the connectivity and everything. So I love everything about this controller. Plus, there's a nice little colored hue when you press the button and all. I mean, it just looks really, really cool, as you guys can see right there. So it's one of those things with this controller that I feel that it's pretty much the all-around best controller on the Nintendo Switch for your RPGs, for your action games out there. And I would say with this controller, one of the dopest things is that the charging dock that it comes with is just so sleek. It's super sleek, it's super nice, it just looks great next to the system, especially if you have the Nintendo Switch OLED, or even if you're using this controller with your PC. You can use it with your PC, you can use it with your Steam Deck as well, so you get some multi-function purpose. And the best thing about this as well is the price. It's $69.99. Sometimes there's these $5 coupons on Amazon that you can get, but it's not a bad price at all, considering it has a lot of the features, programmable buttons and all that. Now, you can't take off the faceplate and you can't remove the thumbsticks and all that cool stuff, but what you get for the price is actually really, really good here. So I do recommend either one of these controllers. If you're tight on money a bit and you want to spend a little bit less, then I would say go with the 8BitO Ultimate controller. Maybe if you want to spend a little bit more and you want that custom faceplates and the thumbstick swapping and all of that, then definitely go with the PowerA Fusion Pro controller. But they're both fantastic controllers when it comes to playing RPGs and when it comes to playing games out there. I really enjoy using both of them. I actually use this one in my office / game room here, and I use this one in my living room with my new Vizio TV that I got. Been playing a lot of Fire Emblem Engage, and all of these controllers work really well for both action games and also for RPGs. Those are the main type of games that I play and talk about on this channel, and they both work flawlessly for it. I used the 8BitO Ultimate Pro controller for all of Bayonetta 3, and I was just slicing through enemies, man. It was super good. I've been using the PowerA Fusion Pro controller for pretty much everything else when it comes to my RPGs, whatever I'm playing in the living room as well. It's really cool. Now, I do have one bonus controller to talk about here, guys, and that's for a specific type of game or RPG, and that's for Atlas RPGs on the Nintendo Switch that just do this really weird thing. So if you've played an Atlas RPG on the Nintendo Switch, then you might figure out that Atlas doesn't like to program their menus in their turn-based RPGs to use the analog stick. You have to use the D-pad to sort through the menus. I'm not sure why Atlas does this, and I don't know if they've updated it since the last time that I played Persona 5 or that I've played Shin Megami Tensei 5 or Shin Megami Tensei 3 on the Nintendo Switch, but for some reason, it's just been that way. So for Atlas RPGs on the Nintendo Switch, I recommend one controller, and that controller is the 8BitO SN30 Pro Plus. And the reason why I recommend this controller for Atlas RPGs is because it has this huge D-pad that's laid out just like a PlayStation controller, and the D-pad, it being the main function for pretty much the controller, because you're holding it just like this and your finger is going to be right there on that D-pad to shift through all of those menus in SMT5 or in Persona 5. It works really well, and I noticed it about halfway through my playthrough of Shin Megami Tensei 5 that using the Pro controller, the Nintendo Switch Pro controller from Nintendo, it was just not working. I was having these misinputs and all of that, and I'm pretty sure that you can use either one of these controllers as well for SMT or for Persona, it would work just fine with the D-pads that they have, but I think that the size of this D-pad along with the placement of it works extremely well for Atlas RPGs on the Nintendo Switch. It's got nice handles, although there's no graded in the back, so it's a little bit smoother, might slip for some people. And also the face buttons aren't quite as good either, but I would say that it does have the pressure sensitive triggers at the top. It's got nice bumper buttons as well, and the thumbsticks aren't too bad along with all of the face buttons as well, with the like start and the select. It's set up just like the old school Super Famicom or Super Nintendo controllers, so it's not quite good in all the other stuff when it comes to buttons and comfort and grip and everything, but it's really good for Atlas RPGs out there, and I highly recommend it if you're playing Shin Megami Tensei 5, if you're playing Persona 5, SMT. This controller might be the best one to get, and it's also a bit cheaper than these other two controllers as well. This is going to be about $50 for this controller. You might be able to find it cheaper in some places, and also different types. This is the Super Famicom edition of the controller. This is the Famicom edition of the controller, but there are other types as well that might be cheaper priced or more expensive. It just varies. So to me, best controller to use for Atlas RPGs. But overall, I think that all of these controllers work really well. Even if you wanted to use the SN30 Pro Plus for something else outside of Atlas RPGs, it works fine for that. I think that the PowerA Fusion Pro controller is fantastic for long gaming sessions. Great rubberized grips, a lot of custom stuff that you can do to the controller, good battery life as well, and not too bad on price for all of the cool extras, thumbsticks, the cord that you get, also with the carrying case too. But I think that the top controller is the 8BitO Ultimate controller. I think that it works like a dream. It feels super instant and responsive. It's got a lot of the features of the best controllers on the market that are even way more expensive that have been coming out for a good price. It's got fantastic pressure sensitive triggers for those who need that in games that support it. It's got nice face buttons that feel great to the touch as well. Good thumbsticks too. Everything is just solid. It's the all-around best controller on the Nintendo Switch right now, and I highly recommend it for those who want to maybe have a little bit better control or precision on their games in an overall manner, especially your RPGs out there. So thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate it. If you guys want to see more reviews or more content on my channel, I've got plenty of stuff that I've talked about before. I'll have links for you guys in the description below, especially if you're into RPGs like Fire Emblem. I've got a lot of cool Fire Emblem videos with must buys and also review roundups and stuff, so you guys can check that out. Link in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you for the next one. Peace.